Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hello, and welcome back to Fem Tarot. I'm Natalie. Hello, and welcome to the newcomers in the family, or the family as we like to call ourselves. Welcome. Come on in. Hello. How is everyone? And what a week this has been. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. Absolutely. How's everyone doing? I'll get to the chat in a minute. Just a quick reminder, a couple of things. First of all, if you're here in the chat, if you're watching this video, please like this video. And also, if you're new and you've just stumbled upon this very interesting video on the submarine and the collective reading, you might want to subscribe because this channel, I do a lot of lives, and this channel is very diverse regarding spiritual topics, astrology, pop culture, world events. There's a little bit of everything here. And of course, this is a very beautiful, soulful community. We're here for each other. We're here to support each other, teach, learn, just spread the kindness and the love. And this is exactly why I love what I'm doing. And it's mainly because of the community that we have here, the Femmies. And before we go on, just another reminder that if anyone is interested in a psychic reading or a tarot reading or a mediumship reading, you can head on over to my website, check out what services I offer, and then you can use the booking form to book a reading with me. And yes, you won't regret it, because any reading, if you go to a legit reader and someone who is legit psychic, every reading is helpful. Okay. Sometimes people go into reading having specific questions in mind, trying to find those answers. But a reading is a lot more than just, telling you your future or just answering like bullet points your answers. It's more about understanding more about you, your life path, your journey, where you're heading, how to get rid of blockages, how to heal from karma, from past life trauma, from childhood trauma. There's a lot that goes into a reading, but you'll find all those details on my website. So I do highly recommend that you just visit my website just to see how I work and a little bit about my background and what other people have said who have had a reading with me. All right, so enough about that. Also, a quick reminder before we start that I do have a online crystal shop. I do ship worldwide. I do try to keep my prices as low as possible because it is crazy right now, especially in the mineral and stones and mineral and crystals world. The prices have gone up. They've spiked a lot. So I do try to offset those prices just so you guys don't have to pay a small fortune to get your favorite crystals or the crystals that you are drawn to. But I will ask you to visit my website, illuminaryshop.com, and just, even if you don't want to buy a crystal, you can use my website as a guide as well, just to understand crystals, what kind of crystal is for you, what kind of crystal is suggested or is best according to your sun sign, to your zodiac sign. Or if you want to gift someone a crystal, then I have some ideas there. So what you can gift people according to their sign, for instance. Right. Hello, chat. How is everyone doing? Okay, I'll start with this one. Let me just do this. All right. So I'll start with this one. Samuel, thank you for that. Of course, it would be possible for me to do this reading. I have no idea what this is about, Springfield 3, but it's always better when I don't know a lot about a case, true crime, whatever it is, because I go in blind and then it's just so much easier to pick up information and to allow for messages and information to channel through me. Thank you, Isa. A shout out to my two mods. They do a lot of work behind the scenes, you guys. So give them some love, give them some kindness, just give them a shout out because they're incredible. That's Isa and Sarah Bay from Paris. You're just incredible. And thank you for all the work that you do and for all the support that you give me, you guys. I wouldn't have done this without you. Hello, Danny. How are you? So I didn't realize that either. I really didn't think that you were allowed, in a sense, to visit a wreckage. And not only a wreckage, this is a historical gravesite, basically. So I didn't even know that they used, not they used, but yeah, they pretty much used people, right? So or not people. So they use people's money, okay, in the name of tourism, in the name of research, in order for them in order to take these people, these passengers, these tourists down to the Titanic with a lot of risk. Guys, I hope you realize Titanic is 13,000 feet below the surface of the water. So this is, can you imagine, like, when we're on a plane, we usually we go up to like 30, 35,000, 40,000 feet. Okay. So, and it's very different in the ocean because you've got that pressure, like water, the ocean, the different layers or atmospheres as they're called. Because I have become somewhat of a scientist because I did go on a scientific deep dive regarding the submersible, because, and I know that I've added the title submarine, but this is more for SEO purposes, but it is a submersible. So I would never ever in the life of me do that. You guys, I come from Mauritius and I'm half Mauritian, half Greek, half English. It's complicated. I'm a little bit of everything. But anyways, in Mauritius, they have these submersibles. I hope I'm saying it right? Anyways, they have these like small submarines that they take tourists for them to see the coral reefs, to see the fish, to see the sharks, etc., etc. I can tell you, and I like the deepest that those goes like 30, 40 meters. Never. Nope. Not even with that. No. And and if anything goes wrong with that, your chances of survival are quite, great, actually, because it's not that deep. Anyways, we'll get into that in a minute. I just want to say hello to the chat before we start. So hello, Elizabeth. Oh, what happened here? Hi, Elizabeth. Hello. Smaragda is here. Hello, Smaragda. Julie Liebe, which I think I'm pronouncing it right. I pronounced it last time right. That's what you said. Hello. Amber is in the house too. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. I got a little bit of a tan. I had a swim in the pool yesterday, so I feel good. Summer mode is on. And summer is my season. So hello, everyone. Annabelle, hello. Happy to see everyone. Is it hot in London? I can imagine. Well, London gets really humid and hot, which is awful. It's just, because you don't get AC everywhere. So it's just like, where do you go? Where do you go to get away from the heat wave and the heat? It's quite hot here. It's not that hot for this time of year. The weather's been really weird in Greece the last couple of months. But I'm not complaining because it's hot enough for us, like, to go swimming and to wear flip-flops, etc. It's just like in Celsius, it's about 30 degrees Celsius, but they are expecting a heat wave, so they are expecting it for it to go up to 40 degrees at some point early July. So not looking forward to that, but everything is, there's AC everywhere in Greece. So hi, TJ. Hello. Hi, Britt. Hello, everyone. So glad to see you guys. All right. Okay, like, I see some comments here. But although there were red flags for the bus, do you think that perhaps the spirits of those perished in the Titanic had? Well, that's a very good question, and I will get into that. I'm getting, you're getting your crystals. Perfect. Hope you enjoy them and I hope you like them. Right. Yeah, a friend of mine almost died. He's a scuba diver, like he went scuba diving and he just ascended really fast. I don't know exactly what happened, and he had to be in these decompression chambers for like a long time. It was touch and go with him. So don't fool around with the water, guys. Don't fool around with the ocean. It's the water element is so powerful that we don't realize that. We don't realize it. Usually it's people like out of all the elements, it's just fire that people like fear, or they believe that fire is the most catastrophic. No, it's water actually. So Sweden's perfect right now, but 25 is perfect. 25 is perfect. Sessy's in the house too. All right, so shall we start? Okay, I just wanted to say that what we're going to do today, I wanted to touch upon this the submarine topic on Sunday, last Sunday, because that's when it happened, and then Monday, Tuesday I was thinking of going live to talk about it, more so on Instagram rather than on YouTube. But anyways, I decided against it. Why? Because I had already picked up that they were no longer with us, the 5 passengers on board. So out of respect to their family and to everyone, I did not want to come out. I did not want to pretend that I didn't know. I did not want to announce it or say it. I just thought, okay, we'll just wait a little bit until they figured out what's happened, until they find some kind of evidence of what happened, and then I will talk about it, which is what we're doing today. Hold on, let me get rid of that. All right. Yeah, I felt it, and I did feel. I'll tell you what I felt when it broke the news and the whole world was, so so taken not taken, so immersed into the story, right? And then all the memes came out, and the memes I found very disrespectful and very heartless, because at the end of the day, regardless whether they were millionaires, billionaires, zillionaires, who cares? They were human beings. These are 5 souls that perished. Okay, 5 human beings that perished. And it's not up to us to judge what people do with their money or how they want to spend their money. That's up to them. And I do realize this, it brought on this whole um aggressiveness, I want to say, on online, because of the migrant boat that capsized here in Greece. I want to tell you guys, I live here, right? So we have a lot of, so this happens almost on a daily occasion. Like on a daily, you have migrant boats, whether they're dinghies, small fishing boats, bigger boats that are trying to cross from Turkey to Greece for a lot of them, or they go to Greece or they go to Italy via Greece, right? Because Greece right now, it's not the best place for migrants, because the conditions in the shelters, etc., are not great. It's super hot, and also the Greek government gets very, very little benefits to the migrants, right? To the immigrants that arrive here. Whereas when they manage to get to Central Europe, it's a very different structure there for them. And I know, because when I lived in Vienna, in Austria, I did do a lot of volunteer work for the refugees. That was back in 2017, 18, when there was like a huge influx of refugees arriving in Europe. And I had a blog back then where I was just, interviewing the refugees, and I was giving them a platform for them to share their story and their whole journey and how they got there. Very, very disturbing. The blog is still available. It was like a Facebook blog. It's still available, I think. I've got to check. But I was thinking of maybe just taking it out of Facebook and creating sort of like maybe like a WordPress type blog and not add all the stories there, because people should read them, should read those stories. Extremely fascinating, at the same time extremely shocking, and it's eye-opening as to what's happening to the corners of the world that we haven't visited, we don't know a lot about, like Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc., etc. But I'm not going to make this political. This is not, absolutely not political, but I just want to say that I understand people had a reaction, a visceral reaction to the news that these 5 mega rich people got, disappeared. This was back before we found out about their unfortunate demise. But and people were like, why is everyone worried? Why is everyone talking about this when 400 refugees, immigrants, capsized, that got lost in the Aegean Sea? A lot of kids, a lot of women on board as well. I understand that, but we've got to understand that this is the media. This is mainstream media. Mainstream media is going to feed off, and it's going to tell you, and is going to present you the news that are going to create a sensation. Immigrants capsizing, drowning in the Aegean Sea is not as newsworthy. That's not me saying this. This is according to the media, okay? As what happened to a submersible that went on this expedition to the Titanic, to the wreckage of the Titanic. Why? Because this is something that the world was completely unaware. Like Danny said, we were completely unaware that that was happening. Okay, that there were people paying so much money to go visit this historical gravesite, because this is what I'm going to keep calling it, because this is what it is. And we should leave the Titanic alone. We should leave it alone. I understand they want to do research. They want to understand about how the plank tie and how water corrodes the steel of the Titanic and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's all good and dandy. Send robots down there. We've got AI now. We've got autonomous cars now. I'm sure you've got a robot that can go down there and do all that research. We don't need to send people down there. Leave that site alone. Just my opinion. So let me just see what everyone's saying. Maddie's saying billionaires are criminals while migrants are people seeking safety. I agree, but not all billionaires. And I'm not defending anyone, but I just want to be fair here. Not all billionaires are criminals. There are billionaires out there that do a lot of charity work, philanthropic work. They do give back. Okay. I don't want to compare the submarine situation, tragedy, with the migrants. Okay. Those are very two different things. And I can tell you, my heart breaks for these people. I don't mean the billionaires now. I'm talking about the migrants, the refugees that are trying to escape, a situation that is dire. It's awful. And they want a better life for themselves and their children and their wives. It is horrendous. But guys, politicians, media, this is who we should be blaming. We shouldn't be, hating on these people, the rich people, because of what is going on with that, with the immigration situation that's been going on, especially in Europe right now. They're not right now, in the last 6-7 years. There is such an influx of people coming in for a better life, right? I'm just saying that we still need to be empathic, to be sensitive towards anyone who loses their life. Unless they are, unless they're a pedophile, unless they're a rapist, unless there's someone who's killed people, we still have to be respectful, and we still need to understand that they've left families behind. That's all I'm saying. It's also sad. Everything is so sad. I can tell you, in Greece, they do talk a lot about this. I don't watch the news because I am safekeeping my mental health. I just don't like watching the news. I don't believe the news. It's full propaganda. It's just, I don't. So, and yes, of course, they're going to cover the submarine, the submersible, and all that, because that's what sells. That's what creates all these sensations, right? And it creates these emotions. A lot of people might, they're far more fascinated about that than to learn about a little bit about the history of Syria and Afghanistan and these countries that have been under such such a horrific political, if you want to call it political, what's called scene or setup. I don't know how to say it. I can't really express myself today, I guess, because I am, and the reason why is because it all makes me sad. Everything that's going on around us, and that's why I want to do a collective reading, by the way, today, because everything that's going on around us is extremely sad. You switch on the news, everything is horrible: shootings, death, kids going missing, people drowning, natural events, catastrophic natural events. It's just horrible any way you look at it. So you guys protect your mental health, protect your heart and your soul. Don't get too into these things. And if you're affected by that, do something about it. Take action, like I did. I took action as soon as, remember back then when with the whole influx with Syria, the Taliban, when I saw that little boy who was washed off, the body of this little 4-year-old, 3-year-old boy washed off the coast of one of the Greek islands, anyways. I think it was Kos. That was it for me. The next day already, I had called various charities. I had called the church, the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church is very, very active with these things in Austria. And what I did is I took initiative and I said, what can I do to help them? So aside from, asking for friends and family to donate money, which then in turn I went and bought food. But they did have food in the shelters, but they were only given food once a day. So I went and bought snacks. I went and bought stuff for the kids. My daughter and I made cupcakes and muffins and took it to them. And then I realized that the real need wasn't the food, wasn't the clothes, wasn't the money. The real need was for them to really share with the world their story. So, oh God. Okay. Sorry, you guys. This is not going to be a light live stream, as you can tell. And want to see the biggest amusement. I heard that, Isa. Another thing, I don't like amusement parks. I just don't. They freak me out. I don't like roller coasters. Just no, thank you. And I'm really sorry and sad about that. Right, you guys, let's talk about the submarine, the Titan, because I'll tell you what I picked up Sunday or Monday. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then we'll do a reading to find out, because I've got questions too, because there's something very eerie about the story and about what happened. So, hold on, Jesus, it is alive. So if I can talk to you, it's alive. Right. So let's start with that. So the submersible Titan, all right, it was built by Stockton Rush, who is the CEO of Ocean Gate Expeditions, which is the company that that offers these rides on the submersibles to the Titanic. Okay. I think they've been in operation for 3 years. I'm just telling you some information that I read upon. So they've been in operation for 3 or 4 years, and they've done these specific submersibles has done 25 expeditions, 25 dives to the Titanic. Okay. I'm not sure if those 20, all of those 25 were successful, or they're just including all the times and all the efforts that they made, because a lot of times they would try, but the circumstances weren't right, or something would go wrong, or which that in itself is a red flag. I mean, oh, but anyways, so they would cancel, they would reschedule, etc. So in the submissible, we had 5 passengers this time. Okay. So we have Stockton Rush, who's the CEO of Ocean Gate Expeditions. He is the one to the right. Then we have Hamish Harding, who was the tour organizer at Ocean Gate, who is the one next to Stockton Rush, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had Paul-Henri Nargeolet, Director of Underwater Research for the RMS Titanic. He is the one to the left. And then we have father and son, let me see if I pronounce this right, Shahzada and Suleiman Dawood, which is the one second to the left, and the young boy in the red t-shirt, which it really hurts me that this young man, this boy, basically his life was cut short because of his dad's obsession for the Titanic. His aunt came out. I saw a clip of his aunt saying that he was terrified. The dad was obsessed with the Titanic. It was a lifelong dream to visit the Titanic, and the son was very weary and very reluctant to go on board that submersible, but he did it because of Father's Day, and that's so sad. I get emotional. I just, being a parent myself, just thinking about my husband taking my son on an expedition and then losing both of them, I just can't. So you've all seen this image because it's been going around for the last week. So this is the Titan. Look how tiny it is. It's as big or as small as a minivan, which is scary. It fits 5 passengers in, and it is operated through a gaming controller. And everyone got, what's funny? Everyone was so obsessed when the news broke. Everyone was commenting and all the memes about the controller, but the accident, the implosion, what happened had nothing to do with the controller. Absolutely nothing to do with the controller, because, okay, the controller breaks down. He said in a previous documentary that they had a couple on board in stock just in case. But at the same time, if they lose navigation, that's the least of their worries. It's about losing. It's the leaks that they should worry about, and the oxygen levels, not the controller. But yeah, I guess it made for funny memes, right? Right. So this is what happened. So this is what I picked up. I picked up that that they were no longer with us. I knew that already, and I knew that straight from the moment that they lost contact with the ship, that was on sea level, and that was helping them navigate. As soon as that happened, to me, everything went black out. So it's not like they lost comms first and then the rest followed minutes later. Everything happened at once. So when the comms went out, they lost communication. That's when everything happened. I do see that it went dark, so they lost power. I saw before everything happened, before the implosion happened, and it was freaky. They freaked out. The boy freaked out, especially the boy freaked out. Now, I know people said they never reached the Titanic. We know that now. So that was something that I knew back then. They never reached, they weren't even close. I think they had another like 45 minutes or an hour to get to the Titanic. I'll read the cards now. I just want to say something else that, I've always been fascinated by the Titanic and the story of the Titanic. I love the movie Titanic. I love how much James Cameron how much research he's put into it, and how much passion and love he's put into that movie and anything that has to do with the Titanic. But I have to say that whenever I see or come across like clips of the Titanic, whether it is the shipwreck or whether it is the actual like Titanic, like these old pictures and movies, I get an eerie feeling like something is very off energetically. All right, we'll get to that. So I'm going to look at your comments really quickly, and then I'll just pick up my cards. I'm using this deck today. I'm using a different deck because this has been calling for me for this type of reading. I'll tell you what it's called. It's this one. This is the deck I'm using today. Let's see. Oh Lord, hold on. Yeah, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about these things, right? It's crazy. And and I'll tell you the reason why they talked about the migrant ship capsizing is because it's election. It's today's election day here. That's the only reason. It's because the Greek media picked it up, they sensationalized it, used it for political propaganda and whatnot. There's like issues with Turkey. Anyways, those Greece and Turkey are not friendly neighbors, I can tell you that. And there is a long, dark, horrible history between the two countries. And that's the only reason why everyone knows about this, because we have this happens like maybe not on a daily, but like every other day or at least twice a week, we have these types of situations here. Just saying. So, and that's why I do not like mainstream media. I like to get my news and my sources and everything elsewhere, not mainstream media. Let's see, what am I missing here, you guys? Chorus 5, they're claiming they're runaways and opt-out. No, well, I've talked about the 700 something thousand kids going missing a year. Okay, a year. Where are all these kids going? The time will come when everything is going to come to surface. Already things are leaking. Okay, we're seeing glimpses of things, but trust me, they're all coming to light. It's all coming. And we'll talk about this, but on a members live. Let's see. Yes. My dad's from Mauritius. I was born there. Grandmother is French and grandfather English. I'm very international. We have to do like a very informal, maybe Q&A. Sometime you guys can ask me, and then we can get to know each other better. All right, Titanic and its history. Like, don't know why. Maybe my intuition is dead. It's a good thing because I remember it. And mods, please link it down below the video. I remember when I did a collective reading at the beginning of the year, and I did say that I saw the water element being very, very, very powerful force. And the water element was going to bring a lot of disruption and is going to, and a lot of natural catastrophic events related to water were going to be like were going to happen this year. I would ask you guys to just check out that video, because I had predicted volcanoes erupting, but I don't mean we get volcanoes erupting, especially in Iceland, etc. But I mean like whether it would affect human life, and it will affect human life. Right. Okay. So let's start, because I'm going to start reading now. I'm going to see what is coming through. I will see whether I can connect to anyone who was on board. Just mind you, because it's so fresh, okay, it's only been a few days. I also want to give them space, and I'm being very respectful. So I will not ask or demand or, push for anyone to come through. But if they do want to come through, or if my guide wants to help me pick up some information, yes, let's see how it goes. I have no idea. I'm going to use tarot, and I'm also going to use my guides here and see what is coming through. The main thing is understanding what really happened. Okay. Because another thing, oops, I just dropped my cards. Hold on. Because another thing that I was feeling, but I just want to look into it now, is that eerie feeling that something, that maybe they witnessed something or something happened. I don't remember who at the beginning of the live said, could it be that the spirits, the whole energy down there, and the spirits that are resting down there could have maybe changed the energy there, because spirit can manipulate water much easier, much easier. Water is much easier for spirits. So I'll get to you guys in the chat. I can see you guys have questions. I'll get to you in a minute. I just don't want to be distracted while I'm doing this reading. So I do, yeah, something is off. Something is off. Why now? Well, we do have Saturn. Saturn is a retrograde in Pisces. So until the 4th of November. So you guys, we're going to see a lot of things related to water happening, just so you know. So like boat accidents, floodings, anything that has to do with water. So that's why now. But there's, again, I don't believe, I've got the cards here, I don't believe that this is like a wear and tear kind of like accident, where because of these 2025 expeditions with the Titan, that, the carbon fiber and the titanium and whatever it's made of was just like, there was wear and tear on it, and that created leakage, and that created the implosion. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm not saying that that's what they're selling us, but I don't feel intuitively that that's it. So let's see. Eight of Pentacles, money talks. So okay, I don't know if you can see it. Goosebumps. I'm going cold. Things are coming through. Let's get ready. Money talks. Not just money talks. I feel with this Eight of Pentacles, one or some of the passengers on board really wanted to make that expedition happen. I feel maybe the conditions weren't right, or maybe the maintenance on the Titan was made in a hurry. I just feel that someone offered maybe more money, or threatened to like withdraw from the expedition if they didn't leave, if they didn't go for it, if they didn't dive that day. Something that maybe we will never find out, because they don't want, OceanGate might not want us to know. But I feel that before they went on board, before they started that expedition, that a lot of things were going wrong already. And I do seriously feel that that boy who was picking up the energies, intuitive himself, he was panicking inside. I feel that he didn't want to show his dad, probably because it was Father's Day. He wanted to please his dad. Good for him. But I feel that things were going wrong, okay, before. So they could have waited. They could have said, okay, maybe we shouldn't do this today. let's work on the submissible, let's see, and then let's try maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days. But no, someone was pushing for them to go, okay? Regardless of these issues that were going on. The Hierophant, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know a lot. Excuse me. See, as soon as I find something that is, hmm, hmm, it always hits me on my throat chakra. I always choke, or I get a scratchy throat. Hierophant, question. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows if you've been on a deep dive about this. Was this someone on board who worked for a government organization, maybe worked in the past or worked up until the accident, the tragedy? Someone was there on board for a reason. Someone who had governmental, political, very, very powerful connections was on board. Just saying, comes up. I'm showing you the cards. Wheel of Fortune. Things change drastically fast, like that. Everything happened like that on board. Okay. Already they had, but Stockton Rush was very, very confident to the point of being, arrogant and cocky, in my opinion, regarding his little project called Ocean Gate, which was the submersible Titan, because I think they had the Titan, and I think they had two more, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But so he was like, oh, no, this submersible Titan is good. It's good to go. This is, it's foolproof, nothing will happen. And then things happened very, very fast, even before Stockton Rush had time to realize what was going on. I'm telling you. I also feel that someone on board may have had, it could have been because of a panic attack, but I feel that I feel my heart, like someone had a minor heart attack, or thought they were having a heart attack, or was about to get a heart attack. This is what I'm getting. Okay. So, and it all happened around the same time. This is really weird. I'm doing this reading, and you guys, you cannot imagine the energy around me. And if you see orbs, don't be surprised if you see orbs around me, because I feel the energy's building. It's so strong right now. So as I was saying, and it all happened pretty much around the same time. So the heart attack, or this panic attack, because sometimes a really severe panic attack feels like a heart attack, happened a few minutes before the tragedy. So I want to see how they are connected, but I'll just allow first, and then I'll take your questions. But first, I just want to see what's coming through. Okay. The boy. It was the boy. What was his name? Suleiman. I think Suleiman was the boy's name, but I'm not sure. The boy was the one who had the panic attack, and he thought he was dying. He thought he was having a heart attack. He was not. Oh my God, you guys. Whew. I feel his energy a lot. I hope he's here. I want him to come through and see if he wants to share with us some stuff. Okay. If I start crying, you know me. Those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I cry. Sometimes I cry. It's because the energy is so overwhelming when I connect with deceased loved ones, especially when they've been through a tragedy, that the waterworks just come in. So it was the boy who thought he was dying. He had a bad feeling. This is what I'm picking up. Bad feeling. It was really dark outside. For some reason, although there were lights in front and on the sides to light up so they would be able to see the wreckage. Some of the lights went off. This is like a few minutes before everything happened. okay, when they were still kind of like relaxed and descending and all that. But the boy freaked out. He panicked. He at first tried to hide it because he did not want to. He was embarrassed and he did not want to embarrass his dad too in front of these men, the other men on board. Um, but at the end, he was like, I feel that like this is what I'm getting. Get me out, dad, dad. This is the energy I'm getting because it's him. He's here. That's why I'm stuttering. When you hear me stuttering, it's the energy. Um, and he was like, but it was for a split second. It was almost like he was in a dream, like in a bad nightmare that he couldn't get out. You know, when you have a lucid dream, you realize that you're in a dream at some point because although everything feels so real, you realize that you're in a dream because you can start controlling your dream. You can start controlling the narrative of what's happening in your surroundings. And it's almost like he felt like he was in a lucid dream. And then for a few seconds, and then when he realized that he isn't, the panic really kicked in, really kicked in. The dad was panicking. I see him like with these big doe eyes looking at Stockton and like trying to keep calm because he was trying to calm his son. And Stockton was like confused. Like I see him fiddling with things, like with his screens and not the controller, the screens. Ace of Cups, Page of Pentacles. Who is okay? Hold on, give me a second. So I pulled the Ace of Cups here. Ace of Cups, water, right? Water, emotions. The sad part about this is that all scientists and anyone who knows about marine engineering and who is a marine scientist and expert, they all said that an implosion is the best way to die because basically it happens so fast that your brain doesn't have time to register what's happening. So it's basically a painless death, right? But here's what I'm getting. There were some seconds where they were realizing that they were not getting out of there. Okay. This is what makes me feel claustrophobic right now. I can't breathe. It's just like it's giving me like I'm getting like physical reactions to this. It was water. It was a leak. It was a leak. There was a crack or a leak or something like that. But this is not a new crack or a new thing. That's what bothers me. It's not that it happened suddenly because of the pressure. There were like the submersible was supposed to was I feel it was registered or licensed to or certified to go to 4,000 meters below sea level, and it was only at 1,200 or something like that. But why do I'm getting, and the young boy is here and he's saying that they knew about that. So there were issues on the hull, on the submersible that they knew about. And because of the rushing, because of this millionaire who wanted to get it over and done with and go down there, it's almost like they did patchwork, which is like so friggin' irresponsible. Oh my, I can't. Yeah. They were cutting corners. The Ocean Gate. Allegedly, I'm going to use that because you never know. They were cutting corners. But I'm still focused on this one person, whoever this one person is who has these connections, because I keep being drawn to him. The boy is saying that Stockton made the wrong call. Absolutely the wrong call. It was completely negligent of him. It was to please. Here's the thing. I feel that the Ocean Gate was either about to go bankrupt or had serious like funding issues, okay, which was probably why they were charging 250K per person to get on board. But maintaining that, there's just so much, the boat that you need, the vessel that you need to take you there, to carry the submersible, all the stuff that you need. It's an expensive expedition. So who was he trying to convince? I feel he was trying, Stockton, now the CEO of Ocean Gate, was trying to convince one of these passengers, the passenger that I'm talking about the potential of Ocean Gate and the potential of, using the Titanic as an underwater museum, where it's like in the future it would be for the plebs, you and me, we would be able to afford to go down there, to make it like really mainstream touristy. That was the goal. That was the dream. It wasn't just the research. Yes, I do feel it was part of it was the research, but money talks, you guys. Greed. And I'm sorry to say, because Stockton seems to be very passionate, or seemed to be very passionate about what he did. So Seven of Cups, from the get-go, things were going wrong decisions, things were going wrong. Okay. Also, a lot of illusions. They weren't transparent to their clients. They weren't transparent to the passengers about what was going on. Yes, they signed death waivers and waivers. You sign waivers when you go to hospital, when you go to surgery. So if anything goes wrong when you're under, that your family is not going to sue the hospital. But at the same time, they weren't honest. They weren't transparent. Ocean Gate wasn't transparent. Nine of Pentacles. Were they part of... Hold on. Give me a second. So what I'm saying here is probably not common knowledge, or it's not easy to find. But I feel that some of the passengers on board, just Stockton aside, let's remove him from the equation, were they part of like a secret society, Freemasons? This is what I'm getting. So there is like a elite society. Someone was part of that elite, I feel. And I also feel, with the Three of Swords, that one of these persons, Harding, I'm gonna come out and say that name, Harding. He was under, it's almost like he was like, if he had survived this expedition, I don't feel that he would, because Harding was someone who was like an explorer and adventurer. He's been to space, he's been like all over, but I feel that his days were numbered, in the sense that, why do I feel that someone was after him, or he knew something, he was involved with something, or he was part of the elite and he came, like he wanted out, and they just wanted to... It's muddy. I can't tell you for sure, but you know where I'm going with this, right? Temperance. Yeah. I also feel that intuitively he knew something was up, but he just didn't want to listen to his intuition, because he was so like, so focused on getting down there. The thing is, what's down there? Aside from the Titanic, and aside from the fact that, the just the overall feeling, I would assume, of being so close to the Titanic, and possibly even picking up those energies and those spirits down there. But why would you want to go down there as a tourist more than once? My question to you. Why? mean, you've done it once. It's okay. You've lived the experience. Good for you. Goodbye. Why would you want to go back? What's down there? What is it? This is I'm just throwing questions out there, and I'm just following what I'm picking up and my intuition. Yeah, Four of Swords. It almost feels like why Four of Swords? And then we have the Four of Swords and then we have the Death card. Why Four of Swords though? We had 5 on board. Interesting. What's going on there? Some kind of secret. Something is sealed. Some kind of secret. This is what I'm getting. There's something bigger in this story. Something much, much bigger and not necessarily involved. It doesn't necessarily involve the tragedy, but there's something bigger, I feel, with the death and about the death of these. Someone is going to start one of the family members is going to seriously start investigating, and I feel things are going to come out that we are completely unaware of, and we're going to be shocked as well. One of the family members is going to go after them and might leak stuff and share things. Just saying. Let's see if the boy. He says that right before everything went dark and before they lost power and comms and everything, that there was a jolt, like a big jolt, as if something like shook the submersible, or something like bumped into it. I'm asking if it wasn't like a whale, like a humpback whale or blue whale. He says he doesn't know. He has no idea, but he said that was freaky because that, like, the pressure and the sheer power of how they felt. Like, he said it's just like putting like 2 dye in a can and shaking the can, and the way the dice moves, it's exactly how it felt to them. And then a few seconds later, down, out. That was it. He said us in the beginning everything was fine, so he had managed to calm his nerves, but as they were descending and descending, and they were losing they were losing the sunlight because they were getting deeper and deeper. He said that he just did not feel good about it. He didn't, but he was trying to contain his anxiety and his panic and his feelings for the sake of everyone else, and was so confined in there as well. And something jolted, and I'm trying to find out if it was energetic. Guys, I do believe in, like, underwater spirits, and I want to really see if it's connected. What is that? What is that about? What's going on? I just see what he's showing me is just like a big shadow, black mass, not shadow, like a black mass bumping onto the submersible. That's what I'm getting. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not, I can't tell you for sure, you guys. I can't. It's not, it doesn't feel good. Does not feel good, doesn't feel positive. There's something else down there. You guys, it's not just the tide. There's something else down there. I don't like the feeling. And the deep, deep ocean freaks me out. I'd rather be in space than in the ocean. Like, Yeah. Doesn't look at something else. Something else is going down. You know what? I don't feel there is going to be the wreckage. This historical gravesite will no longer be in 30, 40 years. This is what my guides are saying. Isn't that crazy? It will disappear. It will become like a big biological mass of some sorts of some kind of like reef, but it's not reef down there. It's going to be absorbed in a sense by the water and the sand and the surroundings in like 30 years. It's already survived 111 years down there, but in 30 years, why so fast? I'm telling you, creepy stuff. I don't like it. Oh, so the boy's saying that his mom was there. As soon as they informed them that this Miss Wool, they'd lost touch. His mom, his younger sister, went on board. They went to the base, to Ocean Gate base, and on board the ship, which is like the accompanying ship, the accompanying boat to this Miss Wool. He said the mom is also quite psychic herself, very, very intuitive, and she already knew uh, on Sunday that they weren't coming back, and he just, oh, my heart breaks for the mom because she has a young girl. She lost her. I mean, this is horrible, horrible. She was there. She was, she knew already. She knew, but the Coast Guards, the Marines, everyone involved in this did not want to say for sure. They didn't, without having facts, without having the evidence, and they were hiding it from her, or they were just like skirting around the topic or the questions. But she already knew, and she's not doing well. She's not doing well. The young boy was he was accepted. He was in an Ivy League college, I feel. He wanted to take the medical route, he's saying, but he was very unsure about his future. He had so many plans. He wanted to take like a break, like a sort of like a gap year, like a year off. He wanted to go traveling, exploring. He had all these plans, and they've all gone up in smoke. It's so incredibly sad. Okay, let me look at your questions, you guys. Okay, let me see if I can't go way back. The chat's going crazy today. We have so many people in. Before I get to the chat, just a reminder to please please like and subscribe to the video, to the channel. Sorry, I'm just like, oh, the feeling, the way he's making me feel, it's awful. So if you have any questions or any comments, just drop them now so I can see them. I can't go back up on this chat. My heart hurts for that boy too. Yes, absolutely. Exactly. Don't underestimate the power of water and the power of the ocean. Many secrets and mysteries, a lot. I can tell you guys, I've seen spirits, I've spoken to spirits, I connect to spirits, I've seen all sorts of things in my lifetime being a psychic medium, but what freaks me out is the energy and the mysteries of the ocean. Yes, and I love water. Don't get me wrong, I love to swim, I love to be in the water. I'm very connected to water. I feel like I feel safe on the water, but I'm not in the ocean, right? And I'm not 20,000, 2,000, 3,000 meters, 20,000 feet down below. So that's different, but I am very intimidated by the ocean. You know what? This is really interesting that you mentioned it, Maddie, because while I was looking, I was on TikTok and one of those like small like Titan videos came up while I was scrolling through, and instantly I got this like vision of connection with aliens. And I don't mean base, but I mean that aliens, just because we know that aliens come from outer space, come from space, doesn't mean that aliens can't swim or they can't survive in water or they cannot adapt in different earth environments and circumstances. Just saying, yes, there's definitely something down there, as well as Mariana Trench, as well as in the Dead Sea. There's some places, the Atlantis. Oh, we need to talk about the Atlantis at some point. We need to talk about that. There's so many things, guys, in history that have happened that if you sit down and you make a huge mind map and you make notes, they're all connected in some way. Let's see. Still being new with the feelings, but I had to pull over at the park so I can continue to be here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're all probably feeling it. It's so overwhelming. For me as well, it's so overwhelming. It's fresh, it's so fresh. So the boy knew instantly that he had crossed over, right? Stockton Rush is still around. So he hasn't transitioned per se. He's still around and he's pretty much down there. He is staying down in that site. It's crazy. Stockton Rush completely obsessed with the whole situation. He's there. The others have crossed. They followed the light, including the boy. He's now going because it's too much energy for him. It's too much, and for him to connect with me is already too much for someone who's just passed so recently. But it's a lot. It's a lot. There's the Bermuda Triangle. There's a lot. So all these, again, they're not conspiracy theories or coincidences. It's just like we need to sit down collectively and maybe do our homework and our research collectively and just connect the dots. Connect the dots. They're all there. They're right behind our noses, but we've been so programmed from media, mainstream media. We've been, people have criticized people like us, have completely judged, they judge us, they hate on us. And I mean people like us, I mean spiritual people who are open, who our minds are open, our eyes are open. We are more open to receive information and messages and see beyond what it is that we're being fed. Let's see. So yeah, Stockton is around, I'm telling you. But he's not showing up to me. Like I can feel his energy, which is why I know he's around, but he won't talk to me right now. I don't take it personally. Maybe he can't. It's just everything's too fresh. I do feel that energetically though that he feels so bad. On one hand, he feels bad about what happened, about the fact that he took away, because he was the one responsible. He's the CEO of Ocean Gate. He was the one controlling and navigating this thing, and he was the one responsible for the other four passengers' demise. He feels bad about that, but on the other hand, he doesn't, which is driving me insane, because on the other hand, he enjoys the fact that he's spirit now, that he is in the spirit world, because he feels that he can come in and out, visit the Titanic, stay there for as long as he wants. Crazy. Let's see. I know. I never heard of her. Of the goddess deity link on the ocean. Yes, absolutely. Let's see what you guys are saying. Is anyone going to take over the Ocean Gate company? I'm telling you, they have financial issues. I don't think so. They already had financial issues and issues with their investors. Now, what I would like for someone to do is one of the internet sleuths, and I know there's one of you out there. What did you research about the investors? Where did he get the funding for Ocean Gate from? Who are behind Ocean Gate? Giving you a little clue and a little hint there. It would be interesting if anyone does that research. I'll bring you onto my channel. We'll talk about it. Let's see. Paul Henri was in limbo. He took so many artifacts from the Titanic. Did he? How? How did he take artifacts from the Titanic? They couldn't, like, they're bolted in. Like, generally when you take it's not like you can open the hatch and swim to the Titanic and grab a wallet, or grab a shoe and go back in. So I don't know. The CEO's wife is a descendant of two first-class passengers. I heard, which is interesting. Again, I want someone to look into the funding. Who funded Ocean Gate? Where did the money come from? Who's behind Ocean Gate? What are the connections of Hamish Harding and Paul-Henri Nageolet? What are their connections? To whom? Who are these big elite people behind them? This is the question. Spirit will tell me only what it wants to tell me. It's giving me clues, though. That's why I'm throwing it out there. So maybe someone can do the research and then we can all talk about it. But yeah, I agree. I believe it should stop. It is a graveyard. It's a historical site. It should be left alone. It should be left alone. And marine life should be left alone. You know what? We do enough damage to our seas with fishing and illegal fishing and everything that we're doing to marine life. Let that marine life on that level, sea level, alone too. They don't need to have all these submarines and robots and cranes and whatnot. Just saying. Those plans, Stockton sacrificed Sanford. It does feel somehow like Stockton sacrificed himself, because I don't feel that he feels, oh shoot, I'm dead. Like, oh God, what did I do? It's like almost like, oh, woe is me. He regrets the fact that other people were taken too, but it feels to me that he's actually enjoying the situation right now. Like, I'm so glad he is in the bottom of the Atlantic and he didn't die somewhere else, because he is the classic example of someone who would freaking haunt you. It's because of his obsessive character, I want to say, or his obsessiveness and his passions and the way he was a little bit off. Maybe he was on the spectrum, extremely a genius, extremely smart, etc., but something is off about Stockton. So they're right about a lot. There's a lot about aliens, I mean, you know what? Scientists and politicians in the world cannot admit what we already know, or we already suspect and we know, because they will have to rewrite history, and that would be a disaster, right? This is so interesting. Paul Henry had used machines like AI in the past before the trip. Okay. All right. I don't like this guy. Why? Don't be disrespectful. We have another live about the Titan tragedy perhaps next week, where more comes out on the news. Of course, I would love to. If there's more that comes out, I would love to do that. And maybe, if longer time passes from the time of the tragedy, then I'll be able to maybe even connect to Stockton and see what he has to say about himself. I would like that. But someone do some research and let me know, and I'll bring you on. I want to know who's behind Ocean Gate and the connections of Hamish and Stockton, and not Gioli, those two, because the father and son, Dawood, no, they were just like literally, they were just like rich people who wanted to go visit the Titanic. I don't feel there was anything else behind that. Yeah, in a way, yes, absolutely, in a way, this is exactly what I feel. You do a reading on the ship Estonia sometime. It sunk outside of Sweden. Sure, I will. Absolutely. You guys send me by email. The easiest thing is if you have recommendations, either put them down below in the comments or send me an email or a DM. And then I have like a list that I keep on a Google Drive where just add all your recommendations and then I will do them. It's crazy. But do you think this could have been sometime they're all big executives? Yeah. In a way, yes. I don't feel that it was per se a hit. Like I need all of them to be out, to be gone. But I do feel that there is some kind of secret that they want to have to keep hidden. And it's much easier to keep it hidden now that Stockton and Hamish and the French guy are gone. That makes sense. So it's not like someone, went and sabotaged or rigged it on purpose. But I can say for sure that definitely they wanted to maybe scare them or to maybe just send them a message. But it all went wrong anyways, because I can tell you the implosion happened because there was definitely a crack, a leak. I see water getting in. Like there was water somehow went in and that created that implosion. I'm sorry if I'm not answering 100% your question, but I hope in a few days things will clear out more and I'll be given more information. No, it's no. It wasn't anyone from inside the no. I'm telling you, it's the connections, how they are connected, who's behind them, what do they know, and the most important thing is what's down there. It's not the Titanic. I'm telling you, Titanic is the ruse. It's the excuse. There's something else down there, which is why they are charging 250K. Also, they need the money. And people are so keen on going on this. This is not a tourist site, which is out of there. You go to booking.com and you're like, oh, I want to go visit the Titanic today. Yes, you have this options. Ocean Gate is, does expeditions Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. No, we weren't even aware of that. Of course, if you're a millionaire, you're aware of that because there's word of mouth. One millionaire goes to the other. They're all parts of like groups, elites, Freemasons, whatever. So they all talk. I'm telling you, something else down there. What are your thoughts on them going down during a new moon? Are there specific astrological transits that are bad of trips? Interesting. I haven't checked. I should check. I'll answer that. But again, Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. So that just tells you a lot. So don't be surprised if we have more shipwrecks or more accidents in the seas, or something about the shipping industry will come up. This is what I'm getting, something huge about the shipping industry. It's all around water, ocean, marine, etc. Yes, I heard. So good for that son. He listened to his intuition and he saved them both. He did. He listened. Poor Suleiman, he didn't have a choice. He wanted to please his dad. And that's something that unfortunately his mom will have to live with, like this thought and knowing that her son didn't want to go, but he went because of his dad and she lost both of them. So Rockefeller's Bank, JP Morgan's fam was going with the Titanic but got off before the ship sailed. So now they own most things because the competition was on board the ship. See? Together, you guys, if we work together and we research together and we just exchange the information we have, we can unravel so much. And I'm telling you, a lot of things. And I get this, like, you're a psychic, you should know everything. No. Even though I'm a psychic and a medium, it doesn't mean that I'm allowed to have access to all of the information. There's divine order. There's so much going on from spirit. And I'm only given what I'm meant to know and what I'm meant to share with you. It's all about, timing, divine order. There's a lot. So I'm just saying, just because I'm not giving these clear answers now, it's basically to protect you and me at this time. This information is going to come out. Trust me. And I won't let this go. We will talk about this again. We will look into this again. I want to know what's down there, and I want to know why this happened to these people, from whom, what is going on, what do they know? Because we know already, Age of Aquarius, we know already we're ascending. We know already that Earth, we're moving into the new Earth, and next year is going to be very different. How is this all connected? We all want to know. We will find out. Could be portals, but I don't see a portal, Brit. Yes, I do believe in portals. There are portals around in different locations, but that's not what's down there. It's not a portal. It's not. Let's see. What were the transits during the Titanic sinking? Were they close to the same as this one? What were the transits during the Titanic sinking? Were they close to the same as this one? What do you mean? Do you mean location-wise? Was the submersible close to the Titanic? Okay, got it. Okay. It happens. Maybe you can rephrase it and then I'll answer it. Poor mom, so sad. Let's see, Orchid. We will discuss the and see how this is connect next time we do a live, or when you have time. Yes, we will definitely do it, even next week, even. But I just want to give a little bit more time for spirit. Things will come through for sure. Let's see, Lady Rivera. The Titanic's energy is kind of like sirens called specific people to the point that would die for it. Again, it's not, there's so many ships there's so many shipwrecks out in the world. Yes, Titanic is the most historical one. Its maiden journey. There were over 1,000 passengers or people on board. Everything happened so fast. It's just historically fascinating and shocking at the same time. But again, I love the Titanic. Okay, James Cameron. Let's take James Cameron. He's gone down there like several times, right, to the Titanic. It's also part of his research and part of his research for the movie and part of his fascination about the topic. I understand him. Everyone else who is fascinated by Titanic, who want to be close to Titanic and see it through a tiny little round window in the submarine. For me, I don't see the fascination. I don't see what is, except for the energy, because obviously you're there, right? You're gonna feel that energy. You're gonna feel so much down there. And also, again, I won't stop saying it. It's not about the Titanic. Something else is down there. Something else is down there. Titanic hitting the iceberg. Is that real? Is that true? We will have to do a reading on the Titanic. Actually, let's unravel this, because I feel that this is not about just a Titan submersible submarine tragedy, which is tragic. But there's so much more connected to it, and I would like to unravel it. I'm down now. I'm down. It's summer, you guys. I'm slowing down on my private readings, my personal readings, especially July, but I'll still be doing YouTube. So We'll be talking about things like that a lot. TikTok say the submersible is a distraction because NASA announced there might be an internet apocalypse in the next decade. I don't, everyone tends to think that when things like that happen, unexplained things or things like that happen, it's tragic, they're a distraction for something else. Yes, in some cases they are distractions for sure, but in other cases, not distractions. They're just literally, this is what happened. It's not the distraction aspect of things, it's more so the lack of information, the lack of transparency, and the fact that the dots are not connecting. Yes, I will do another reading because we've been doing this for an hour and a half. I don't know if there's enough time for us to do a collective reading. I'll ask the chat because a collective reading, and it needs a little bit of time again to just, I don't want to disappoint anyone. So let me know if you're okay if we do it next week, so in the next few days, or if you want me to do it today. I'd rather do it next week and just focus on the collective reading because I don't want to mix those two energies. But whatever you guys tell me, I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't know if you've seen the movie with Kristen Stewart. It's called Underwater. I think I have. I think I've seen all the underwater and shark movies. I can tell you, I have a fascination about the ocean and the water. Probably. What's about the movie? Was there even an iceberg? Good question. Was there even an iceberg? We'll find out when we do a reading on the Titanic. Let's see. Oh, Orchid went to the Titanic Museum. So interesting. Gave you so much info and passages. I think it's fascinating. I would love to go to the museum, not the Titanic. Okay, people are suggesting readings. I'm sorry, I mean, were the transits during the timing of the Titanic sinking versus transits during the time of the sub going down? Good question. I have no idea. I have no idea. That's a good question, though. Sinking versus the transits during the time of the sub going down. I don't know. That's something else that we need to research on. Oh, you guys, you're so sweet. Everyone's saying next time in a few days or next week. Thank you, you guys. Yeah, this was like tiring. Of course, I would do it for you guys if you really wanted me to do it today, but I'd rather keep it separate, like a separate video for that, and keep it light and positive and see what's happening in the collective. Actually, it's very, it is somewhat connected to what we're talking about today because I've been saying this for a while now. The collective, there's a huge, huge collective shift, and I want to see what we should expect, what's happening to the collective until, so the reading is going to be for the next 6 months until the end of the year, pretty much. Okay. And because I have a feeling about everything. Yes, next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your understanding. You are the most amazing community, the sweetest, the most soulful. I love you all. And that's why I never want to disappoint you ever. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, thank you. I love you guys. Right. So 111 years, not a coincidence, right? 111. 111. Yeah, again, there are no coincidences. As soon as I heard or read in an article, right when this, right at the beginning when this all started, and I read that it's been 111 years since the Titanic went down, I was like, no coincidences. Oh, thank you, you guys. Thank you, Beyond Doodle, and thank you for the wonderful questions as well, Doodle. Right. Unless you have other questions, then what we're going to do is we're going to leave the collective reading for next time, the next few days. And then I will definitely also do on the collective, during the video of the collective reading, I'm going to do lightning readings as well. Okay. So they're going to be one questions for each caller. and because those are fun and I see how much they help you. And I want to help you guys because I know it's very confusing times right now. The energies are off, they're very strong, very powerful. We're all a little bit confused, a little bit sort of in it's foggy, right? Because of the ascension, because of the frequencies that are changing and we're all feeling them, it can be confusing. And I know that the lightning readings, the tarot readings really help you. So, and as long as they're helping you and they're giving you some hope and optimism and positivity, that's all I want. More than 6 miles below the ocean, when water crashes through the walls of a drilling station led by their captains, Five realized that their only hope is to walk. Wow. Thank you all. Thank you all. Right, you guys. So before you go, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, the like button, and please subscribe too. And I'll be back in a few days for the collective reading, and then we will do the Titanic. We will do part 2 of this reading with the Titanic in one video. Okay, we will do 2 readings because I want to see how those 2 are connected. So that's going to be a deep dive. That's going to be a heavy one. We'll do that very, very soon. Love you all, you guys. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.